So measles is back. Let's have a look. Hello everyone and welcome to this episode of Heiser Says. I thought I'd talk about a measles outbreak in New York that was announced, publicized last month. I thought I'd read through this article and then have a look at the measles health alerts that we get here in Queensland, because it feels like every other month you get it. And because we're in the homeschooling community, I meet a lot of people who are anti-vax, who are worried about vaccinations. And I respect the right for people to control their own medical decisions and to have the opportunity to control what happens to them medically. But I also have friends that have actually been injured by vaccines. I've got a good friend who was rendered blind because of vaccines as a child. Now, or as a baby. And if you talk to him about not having vaccines, he would think you're an idiot. If you look back in the history, sure, there have been some quite horrific issues with medical or with vaccination and just disasters that have happened in the past. But you speak to medical practitioners, a lot of what they could get away with regards to research, ethical research, even 50 years ago compared to today is just shocking. Shocking, really. If you want to see an example, look at my video on the ketogenic diet. And there's an example where they pretty much were observing two people in a hospital environment, expecting them to die because they didn't think they'd be able to live off meat. So you couldn't get away with that these days. So let's have a look. New York battles the worst measles outbreak in decades. New York State is battling one of the worst measles outbreaks in 2 decades as the highly contagious disease hits Orthodox Jewish communities in Brooklyn and Rockland County. 55 confirmed cases of the virus have affected unvaccinated children in Borough Park, Bensonhurst, Midwood Marine Park, and Williamsburg since October, according to City Department of Health officials. 55. The measles outbreak in Brooklyn began when a child was infected on a trip to Israel, which also is seeing a large spread of the disease. And remember, we're in the 21st century, people, and this is measles. Since then, there have been additional children from Brooklyn who were unvaccinated and acquired measles while in Israel, DOH said. Children who did not travel were also infected in Brooklyn or Rockland County. As of Tuesday, the statistics included 32 cases in Borough Park, 21 in Williamsburg, and 1 each in Bensonhurst and Midwood Marine Park. Borough Park saw 2 new cases last week, while Williamsburg had 1 new case. There have been 112 confirmed cases in the rest of New York State. 105 of these cases have been in Rockland County, which also has a highly Orthodox Jewish population, with the rest in Orange County officials said. Rockland also currently has 4 suspected cases pending testing. 80% of these cases involve people under the age of 18. The troubling spike has prompted Rockland and state health officials to recommend that parents have their children get the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine earlier than scheduled. Typically, the first dose of the vaccine is administered at the age of 1 and again at the age of 4. We changed it to get their first shot at 6 months old, said Rockland County spokesman John Lyon. The second shot you can get 28 days after the first shot. We've been recommend that people do it immediately. Well, there you go. Wow. Children who are vaccinated on the expected schedule will need to receive another MMR shot at 4, Lyon said. With the help of the State Health Department, Rockland has doled out 11,000 MMR vaccinations since October, so they're jumping to try and address this issue. They really are. Anyone who has not received an MMR vaccine should go to the doctor and get one as soon as possible, advised the State Health Department spokesman Jonan Bruno. Early symptoms of measles appear 10 to 12 days after exposure and include fever, coughing, runny nose, red watery eyes. 3 to 5 days later, a rash of red spots begins to appear on the face and spread over the entire body. Now, where do we have measles around the world? Look, this is a map from 2014 from the World Health Organization of countries that are affected by measles. At least 100 cases. Fortunately, Australia, yay, we're not on that list. But, even Israel doesn't seem to be, or maybe it's too small to notice on this map. But, look at this, Germany. I've been playing too much Hearts of Iron 4. I keep thinking that map of Germany is incorrect. Brazil, a lot of Africa. But what about here in Queensland? What are we hearing here in Queensland? Let's have a look at these notices from Queensland Health. So, Measles Health Alert on the 8th of March 2019. 2 days ago, Queensland Health has issued a measles alert after a person travelling on a flight from Dubai to Brisbane while infectious. The person travelled on Emirates flight EK430 from Dubai, arriving at Brisbane International Airport on Monday the 26th of February. While in Brisbane, the person stayed in the Marriott Hotel on the 26th and 27th of Feb. If you've been at any of these locations during the specified times, be alert for initial in the spread of measles. 28th of February. Metro South Hospital and Health Services have been notified of a case of measles on Brisbane South Side. Locations the person visited were likely to be infectious were Victoria Point Mall each afternoon on Saturday 16th, February the 17th, and the 20th. Norm Price Park, Redland Showground, Cleveland on the 16th of Feb. Aldi Supermarket, oh no, not Aldi, on Sunday the 19th. Good Life Gym, Carmel College on the 18th, wow. Prince Polly Warehouse Sale, Hyde Park, 23rd of Feb. This just shows you how one person can spread a disease to so many others. On the 16th of Feb 2019, Sunshine Coast Hospital and Health Services confirmed a case of measles in a person on the Sunshine Coast. The person is believed to have travelled from Southeast Asia by plane TR0221 to Brisbane while unknowingly infectious, arriving Saturday morning at 9:35 a.m. People who are known to have been in close proximity to the case are being contacted and provided with public health advice. Symptoms. The initial symptoms of measles include fever, lethargy, runny nose, moist cough, sore and red eyes. This is followed a few days by a blotch red rash. The rash often starts in the face and becomes widespread over the body. What to do? If you have any of the measles symptoms, contact your GP. Remember, it is very important to call the medical practice first if you think you have measles, so the staff can take precautions to avoid you spreading it to others. Anyone born after 1965 who was in these areas who has not been fully vaccinated against measles, 2 doses of MMR, should contact their GP. So, it's an issue in Queensland as well. It's an issue in Australia as well. What do you guys think? Notice that Facebook, so as I was saying, Facebook is cracking down on anti-vax content. And I found an article here that we'll have a read through. This is from Wired. That was just published a few days ago on the 7th. So Facebook will crack down on anti-vaccine content. So as Clark County, Washington combats an ongoing measles outbreak, Facebook announced Thursday that it's diminishing the reach of anti-vaccine information on its platform. It will no longer allow it to be promoted through ads or recommendations and will make it less prominent in search results. The social network will not take down anti-vaccine posts entirely, however. The company also said it was exploring ways to give users more context about vaccines from expert organizations. The decision was widely anticipated. Facebook, along with YouTube and Amazon, has faced criticism from journalists and lawmakers in recent weeks for allowing vaccine misinformation to flourish on their sites. Facebook also told media outlets in February that it was looking into how it should address anti-vaccination content. Last month, Adam Schiff, a Democrat representative from California, sent letters to the CEOs of YouTube and Facebook demanding they answer questions about whether the spread of anti-vaccine information on their company's platforms. He followed up with a similar letter to Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos last week. On Wednesday, an 18-year-old from Ohio testified before the Senate that his mother primarily received misinformation about vaccines on Facebook and opted not to inoculate him. A major study released Monday found no link between the MMR vaccine, which protects against measles, mumps, and rubella, and autism. there seems to be the concern that these vaccines are linked to autism. I'd be interested to see if there's any correlation, just happens to be, with the date and time and age that people are given these vaccines and the age when autistic symptoms start to become more prominent. You know, if my gut instinct tells me maybe we should be looking at that. In a blog post written by Monica Bickert, Facebook's Vice President of Global Policy Management, Facebook said it will begin rejecting ads that include false information about vaccinations. The company also removed targeting categories such as vaccine controversies from its advertising tools. Last month, the Daily Beast reported that more than 115 anti-vaccine ads have been bought on Facebook, which often target women over 25. Some of the ads were shown to users interested in pregnancy. In total, they were viewed at least 1.6 million times. YouTube similarly announced last month that it would begin preventing ads from running on videos featuring anti-vaccine content. Okay, so they're going to demonetize them. Facebook will also reduce the rank of pages and groups that spread misinformation about vaccines in search results and its news feeds. In February, the Guardian found that anti-vaccination propaganda often ranked higher and outperformed accurate information from more reliable sources on Facebook. Well, yeah, that makes complete sense. People always want to hear the negative stuff first. Yeah, that's just how people are. The social network's effort to fight vaccination disinformation extends to Instagram, where the company says it will stop recommending content that includes vaccine information on the app's Explorer page. Instagram will also stop displaying vaccine misinformation in hashtag search results. It is not clear how long these new controls will take to roll out. An Instagram search for vaccine Thursday afternoon surfaced the hashtag vaccines kill as the #1 result, for instance. Last month, Pinterest received praise for its decision to stop displaying search results for vaccines entirely, even if they are medically accurate. In 2017, Pinterest previously banned anti-vaccination advice from its platform. As The Atlantic has pointed out, the majority of anti-vaccination content on Facebook appears to originate from only a handful of fringe sources. It likely won't require a Herculean effort for Facebook to tackle this strain of misinformation. The question is why the company waited until it became a subject of media reports and criticism from lawmakers to finally act. I wonder, here, let me draw a picture here to explain it for you. That's the Australian one. That's the American one. Or am I doing it wrong? Can I even get my S's right? Oh, I'm getting tired. Yeah. Facebook increased its effort to fight false information more broadly on the platform in the wake of the 2016 presidential election, including with initiatives like third-party fact-checking. Well, that comes on. You also have to realize if you trust the third-party fact-checking website, the company admits it won't catch everything, and demonstrable fake stories still go viral. But yeah, as does Adolf Hitler's Mein Kampf, dressed up as a social justice piece of academic work as well. So it isn't just the fake news coming from one side, it's also fake academia. While there's little public debate about user behavior on Facebook, researchers have found signs that the research of fake news declined between 2016 and 2018 midterm elections, though they also say there remains plenty to be concerned about when it comes to misinformation. Well, yeah, no one trusts the mainstream media anymore. The problem is mainstream media and journalists have really lost all confidence. People have lost all confidence in them, so they will naturally gravitate to things that are counter to what the media are putting out now. If the media is putting it forward, most people will think that it's a lie. Sadly, they've dug their own grave, and now they're paying the price for this. Now, when they report on legitimate things, on the benefits of vaccines, people won't trust them because they've just showed their hand and their bias. So you kind of reap what you sow. It's not yet clear whether the proliferation of anti-vaccination content online has led to a significant decrease in vaccination rates in the US. Unscientific information about vaccines has been circulating on and offline for well over a decade. But as Slater has pointed out, the number of children under 3 who have received their first dose of the MMR vaccine has remained steady for years. according to data for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The World Health Organization named vaccine hesitancy as one of the 10 threats to global health in 2019, but cite complacency and inconvenience in accessing vaccines as the two key reasons why people choose not to vaccinate, in addition to lack of confidence. Okay, good old lazy ass humans. That fills me with a lot of confidence. There's still little doubt that social media platforms like Facebook, but also YouTube and Amazon are indeed have indeed made anti-vaccination talking points more accessible to a wider audience. The proponents of this misinformation were aided by recommendations and search ranking algorithms, which often promote anti-vax content to the top of the pile because it gets the ticks, it gets the hits, and people are interested. Facebook announcement today is further acknowledgement of its role in the ecosystem in the idea that free speech is not the same as free reach. Ooh, that's interesting. That's interesting to end on it. What do you guys think about that? Do you think free speech isn't the same as free reach? That's interesting. That's the first I've heard of that. Free speech isn't the same as free reach. Let me know what you think in the comments about that one. Let me know if you have any opinions on this, on vaccination. You know, do you believe people should have the right to choose? Yeah. Or do you want here in Australia they're looking at fining people, not allowing them to go to childcare, or all these punishments for choosing not to vaccinate, but we can see that it's having consequences. Well, here in New York and around the world, it's having consequences. Guys, let me know what you think. Please like, share, and subscribe. Ding the bell to see my daily updates. And this March, I'm trying to do 2 videos a day on different topics. Take care. See you later. Bye for now.